What's going on, DJBooth.net? This is DJ Blaze, and I'm here in the lab to give you a full video review of the new Vestax VCI-300MKII digital DJ controller. And this is brought to you by American Musical Supply, AmericanMusical.com. So here it is, everyone. This is the Vestax VCI-300MKII digital DJ controller, and just like with the rest of our reviews, we'll start off with the overall impressions. First up, overall impressions. As soon as you open the box, you're going to see that this unit, the 300MKII, is made up of almost completely metal. You have a completely metal chassis. It's got a heavy feel to it, even though it's small and compact. All the knobs are somewhat like a mini PMC style mixer. That means that you're going to get like a rubberized type of feel to them, along with a metal stem underneath. So they're very high quality knobs here, and everything just feels really sturdy, really strong. And this is one of the best made controllers that I have tested to date. And if you guys look at the reviews, you see that I test these all the time, and this happened to be one of my favorites. So a lot of solid metal components on top and underneath. Has a nice shiny black type surface to it. Easy to see all of your buttons at a glance. All of your buttons illuminate, so you can see exactly what you have pressed and what you have activated at a particular time. This is a complete compact system, and it also has the ability to pass through a line input. Just in case your set goes down, you can just plug in an iPod or any type of device that has audio playing through it, and you can play it right through this device. So that's a good backup measure for most mobile DJs or anyone who has to play a set. Also, along with the build quality and the impressions, we go to the setup. It comes with a special version of Serato Itch, and it worked very well. I never once had any pauses, any freezes, any type of hiccups whatsoever related to the software, and it was very easy to install. In order to set it up, all you have to do is plug in your controller, install the drivers, which are found on the actual disc, the Mac and PC disc. They're the same disc depending on what computer you're using. And then you just hook up your speakers. In my case, I used RCA cables. There's also another balanced output. We'll get to the inputs and outputs in a second. And that is also made for your balanced connection to output. So in this section, we'll show you the inputs and outputs. And right in the front, we have the actual microphone 1/4 inch input, along with the microphone volume control knob. To the right, we have the 1/8 inch mini and 1/4 inch headphone control. Around the back, we have the input, and this is the through input. This is the input that we use to actually shoot your sound directly through the unit, regardless of software. We have a ground post here as well. There's a PC and through on mode button that you can toggle depending on what mode you're using. For master outputs, we have a balanced 1/4 inch output here, and we also have the RCA outputs as well. Around the back, these are the torque or touch sensor level knobs for each of the crossfaders. And we have the AC adapter unit in, and we also have the USB cable here. Again, this is the AC adapter. The DC adapter does not come with the unit. You have to buy that separately, but it comes in handy when you are going in through mode and you do not have a computer at all. So you'll need that in order to power the unit. And this power adapter also provides you guys with another amp for your headphones. Next up, we'll speak about the mixing console. The mixing console is the middle portion of the controller here, and they have some pretty nice crossfader and line faders here. They do have a plasticky type feel to them, but at least I was able to do all of my scratches since there was a pretty low cut-in distance. Cut-in distance ranged between 1.25 millimeters and 1.5 millimeters, and it was good enough for me to do mostly all of my scratches, and it felt really good and easy to get used to. The line faders are longer and they have about the same resistance as the crossfader, but very good for mixing and for just getting the accurate sound level that you need out of your deck. These are also user replaceable. On the back of the unit, you'll see there's a panel that you can unscrew and you can replace your line faders and your crossfader. There is an upgradable Vestax metal type fader that you can plug in here in replace of what's actually there already, and I believe the Inno bender from InnoFader will also work here. So you do have some options in order to upgrade these faders, but as I said, I was able to do all of my scratches and everything I needed to do right here on board. The faders have a curve control adjust knob, and that's found right here on the front of the unit. Very tiny knob to adjust. Also in the front we have the actual headphone jacks, and they're controlled by the monitor level knob up top. There's a monitor select knob. This knob will have your headphones either playing what's in the master or what's in the queue, depending on which way you have the knob set up. There's a master level knob as well for your volumes. Each channel, this is a 2-deck controller. Each deck has a high, mid, and low EQ. Very good EQs. Everything felt great. And they also have their own gain knobs as well. In the middle portion of the mixer, you'll notice this is for file navigation. So this is for all of your navigation and usage inside the itch software. You have a navigation button here which has forward, backwards, up and down to scroll through your music, and you also have a button in the middle to select. In order to load to deck A, you press these two buttons at the same time. In order to load to deck B, you press these two buttons at the same time. There's also crates, files, and browse, and these are just functions within the software so that you can go through all of your music and all of your crates and all of your files easy without even touching the keyboard. Next up, we'll talk about the deck controls, and the deck controls are found on either side of the DJ controller. And the first thing that pops out to you are these jog wheels. These jog wheels are, in one word, excellent. They have a metal plate to them up in the top, and it's a ribbed plate, and it feels so much like vinyl. I was very surprised when I first used these a couple years ago, and I was able to see just how close to vinyl that a jog wheel can feel, and this is one of the best on any controller that I have ever used. There's a ring, a plastic ring around the outside of both jog wheels, and this ring basically lets you know whether you have the record pressed when it's red or if the record is let go when you're in scratch mode. You can also see if the deck is actually playing. Yeah. And you can also determine where you pretty much are in the track just by looking at the illuminated deck area. The jog wheels also had very high resolution. It works perfect, 1-to-1, and you can even rewind completely or fast forward as fast as you need, and you won't ever have any issues whatsoever. Each deck also has its own jog wheel torque adjust, meaning that there's a wheel underneath the jog wheel, so you can adjust the tension or how slippery or how resistant the movement is of the actual jog wheel. And it also has another adjustment for the jog wheels, which are for pressure sensitivity. There's a knob in the back for each individual jog wheel, and you can adjust that to your touch sensitivity. If you're a scratcher like me, you're going to want it very, very sensitive. So as soon as you press it, you are automatically engaged with the scratch portion of the jog wheel. Next up, we have scratch mode. When the actual jog wheel is in scratch mode, you can do just as I do, and you can scratch. Everything you do will be done correctly on the actual jog wheel, and the outer ring here will be used to nudge and to rewind or to slow down the actual record that's playing. When you're in jog wheel mode, you can then just use the jog wheel to actually slow down and fast forward your sound. We also have a sync button. This way we can sync and auto tempo whatever's playing in the opposite deck. There is the pitch slider here. There's a pitch shift up and down in order to change the scale of the pitch you're working in. There is a 0 light indicator to let you know when you're in absolute perfect speed mode. There's also a key lock button, and we also have the fast forward and rewind buttons here. When you press shift, these auto loop buttons actually turn into fast forward and rewind buttons for within the track. Next up, we'll talk about the hot cues and loops. It's very easy to use. Each deck has 3 of their own cues that can be set, and then when you set these 1, 2, 3 cues, you can then set the out loop in order to turn that cue point into a loop. So basically, we have one set up here where
word on road is the click about the blow. Word on road is the click
cue point. And if we want to turn it into a loop, we just press the loop out button, and that turns that cue point into a loop. And you can clear the loop, let it go to the next loop. Setting cues is very easy. Just press the button where you want it. And in order to get rid of the cues, all you have to do is press shift and cue. So cue and loops, very easy to use, very nice to do on this system. There is an absence of samples, and there is also no effects section on board with this unit. So in conclusion, the Vestax VCI-300MKII is a nice 2-channel digital DJ controller that has a compact and lightweight design, which also gives DJs the options of playing music through an optional line input in the time of need. The VCI-300 may just be the most durable controller out in the market today, with its full metal body construction and heavyweight feel. Even the high-resolution jog wheels have a ribbed metal surface, and they too feel super sturdy. Though the crossfader and line faders have a plastic feel to them, I was able to pull off all my scratches and juggles without any issues, and they are all user replaceable and upgradable. The size is also nice and compact for easy transport, but on the downside, the 300MKII is really only a USB DJ controller and not a true MIDI controller, meaning that DJs won't be able to map each and every function or button to a DJ software of their choice. So you're pretty much stuck with the software and the settings that you get out of the box, but that's not so much a bad thing because everything worked lovely. It's a bare bones type system. It gets the job done, and it gets the job done well. I was also surprised to see that the VCI-300MKII does not come with the additional power cable, which is sold separately because it actually gives the headphones an additional amp, and it also allows the unit to be used in line-through mode without the use of a computer, meaning you don't need the USB cable to power it. So if this would have came with the actual power cord, you would never need your USB in order to play your through input, and this is going to come in handy for mobile DJs sometimes when if a set goes down, your computer is not working correctly, and your computer crashes and you don't have power to your computer, then you'll need a power cable in order to run your iPod or whatever other source directly through this unit. My final gripe with the unit was the lack of the onboard effects. You know, most DJ controllers today have effects, and the only way to get them with the VCI-300MKII is to purchase the additional Vestax FX unit to go along with it. Right now there's a promotion, a mail-in rebate, where you can get the effects unit for free. It'll cost you a bit of money out of pocket, but you will be able to then add your FX unit, and it goes along nicely with the system. It looks exactly like the system, but a smaller version, almost like an X1 for tractor. That's what the FX module by Vestax will do for you. At the end of the day, the Vestax VCI-300MKII is a bare bones 2-channel DJ system that does everything very well. The unit is built to last, and everything is very easy to use and very easy to understand. I've reviewed many DJ controllers to this date, and this is one of my favorites, even though it's missing some features found on other popular controllers. The feel of the unit and the controls are just right. We recommend the VCI-300MKII to beginner DJs who don't want a bunch of confusing features, or for professional DJs who want an additional travel setup. The price may be a bit steep at $700, but it really feels like it's worth every penny. So for more on the Vestax VCI-300MKII and all other DJ equipment news, reviews, videos, and anything related to DJ and production equipment, you can check out our blog site at www.djbooth.net/DJS for DJs. You can also check out the Twitter account, follow us for daily updates, and that is at DJBlaze_DJBooth. And also subscribe to us on YouTube, which is youtube.com/RealDJBlaze is the username. Thanks for watching.